Gary Hauser, and I had an awfully good time at Fortier in those days. Didn't spend as much time studying as I should have, needless to say, but it was really, we had great friends, good times. 50s was a special time for America, I think, and it was really great.
Not that any of them were less than their dedication and ability, but was Dr. Barton, who was a chemistry teacher, Ms. Harris, who was the physics teacher, and Uncle Henry, who was Henry, our drafting teacher. And those three areas were things that I was very interested in life and directed me in where I eventually went. And I attribute their teaching skills and the way they got your interest in the subject and had a great deal to helping me along in my direction in life and what I did. So, to the teachers of Fortier High School.
Good to see everybody. I'm Walt Carrollton, Georgia. Somebody stole my thunder on Two Jacks, so I'm going to change this around a little bit. I'm going to do, and Barbara, you love this, I'm going to do my version of the LSU Tiger fight song. No, not really, not really. What I'm going to do is tell you a joke that you can tell your preacher. Okay, Ed? Anyway, this is, everybody's heard of Little Johnny. Okay? Everybody's heard of Little Johnny. One morning, Monday morning, Johnny shows up at school and little girlfriend comes up and says, "Johnny, what did you do over the weekend?" He said, "Oh, my uncle and I, we went fishing, we caught 5 bass over 5 pounds. Wow." Then one of his little boyfriends comes up and said, "Johnny, what'd you do over the weekend?" He said, "My uncle and I went fishing, we caught 10 bass over 10 pounds. Well, this time it's getting back to the teacher, who goes to the counselor, goes to the principal. Principal says, "You have him in my office 8 o'clock tomorrow morning." Sure enough, Johnny shows up. Says, "Johnny, you know, I live out in the suburbs, and after supper each night, I like to take a walk in the woods, you know, to kind of relax and get a little exercise. And I was walking last night, and I was almost back home, and I heard this rumbling in the bushes behind me, and I looked back, and about 25 yards coming straight for me was this black bear. And he got almost to me when this little chihuahua came out of nowhere, jumped on that bear, and killed that bear." And he said, "Now, do you believe that?" And Johnny thought a minute, he said, "Why, sure I do. That was my dog, and that was the second bear's killer."
I'm John Cotrera, and when I started Fortier, some of the best days of my life and some of the best friends I've ever met and still are friends with. But I started Fortier and I had a 1940 Plymouth that I drove, and at lunchtime everybody used to run out and pile up in the back of that Plymouth, and we'd go to Two Jacks, now Domalice's, and we'd get our sandwiches. And they were 18 inches long, 50 cents. For 75 cents, you could split half a roast beef and half a shrimp. Good days. I haven't been there lately, but I know they are.
To tell this story about kind of a zany date I had with the Fortier guy while I was there. And double date with Ken Toole, who was John Kennedy Toole, the author of the prize-winning book, Confederacy of Dunces. And Ken was known for his humor. It was quite a humorous evening. We went down to the famous store to hear Dukes of Dixieland, and that was fun. We all had our lemonades, and when it was time to pay the bill, Ken didn't have his wallet, and the other fella didn't have enough money to pay the bill. And girls didn't carry money in those days except enough to call home. And I couldn't call home because I wasn't supposed to be in the French Quarter in the first place. So we sat there and nursed our lemonades while Ken went out to see who he could find or what he could do about getting some money. And after a while, he did come back with enough money to pay the bill. So we were able to leave the famous store. but then we had the car in a parking lot. Didn't have any money to get that out. So we stood by Pat O'Brien's, and Ken was able to get enough money to do that. So that was the only time I ever had a date with a Fortier guy who didn't have money to get his car out of the parking lot, because Jerry Dillard always had enough money to get his daddy's Cadillac out of the lot.